Hey YouTube, this is Soul Productions here, bringing to you a True Draco deck profile. Um, I've been meaning to do this deck profile for weeks because, uh, Dracos, they hold dear to my heart, even though Masterpiece got banned. Yeah, as you can see right there, this is the deck that I've been using for the past, I want to say year and a half. Yeah, we got Dynamite back, but, please, Konami, bring back Masterpiece. Bring back Masterpiece. Alrighty, well, there's not really much to say. I might as well just get into the deck profile right now. Have any questions? Leave it down in the comments below, and hopefully, hopefully we get this thing started. Yeah, nice playmat right here. I got this off of the in-gaming website. $20 was worth it. I love this playmat. I highly recommend you check them out. The starting of the monsters, we have one Dynamite. He's at one. I would probably run him 2 or 3. But unfortunately, I think Konami hates this deck with a burning passion, so we got him at 1. Also, please bring back Masterpiece. But I doubt that's gonna happen anytime soon. And then next we have the 3 Ignis Heat. This is probably gonna be your best card of the deck, because it searches out your spells. Oh, I forgot to mention, they all have different abilities. You got Dynamite searches out your traps, Ignis searches out your spells, and you can add them from the deck to the field, which is nice because, the traps make your they make your your opponent's monsters tiny, and then your spells you recycle, you draw, you can use them to get popped to pop a back row. For the traps, you can pop a monster. It's a really great engine in this deck. And then next for the Draco monsters, we have 2 Majestic Maiden. She searches out your monsters. In my initial thought, I actually thought this card was terrible, but she gets the job done if you have her beginning game. To round off the monsters, I was going to be running the Amanos or the True King Generals, the Draco Generals, but I decided to run a copy of these instead. Spectre Border. Uh, yeah, a lot of people don't like Spectre Border in the main, but if you side your cards correctly, put this over here. Yeah, this thing, Border can win you so many games alone. He's literally a 2K beat stick that pretty much denies you the right to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So, you get him out, you get a Tribute Monster out, you're set. You got Floodgate. You rely on your back row more than anything. So, you want to keep, and also you want to keep your monster count as low as possible. So, that's it for the monsters. I think the total was 8 monsters, if I'm not mistaken. For the spells, the basic stand-up, 3 diagram, because I gotta be honest with you, I'm not that impressed with diagram anymore. I don't really like it that much as I used to. It's great, you can pop a card, you can get a search, you can blow up a field. The only reason why I ever want to use it now is because you use him to pretty much make, your monsters have 300 extra attack. So something like Dynamite, where he's like 25, you can boost him up to that over 25 swing, which is really nice. That's another reason why he's good in the deck. And then we have the 1 Terraforming, because it's at 1. Uh, yeah, field spells right now are really powerful this format, but if you really want to truly blame the field spell that got this to 1, and same with Metaverse, you can blame Mystic Mind. Not really this deck so much, but... And then the standard lineup. You got 3 Apocalypse... 3 Draco Phoenix Disciples. And then you got 3 Heritage. This is standard. It's a good lineup. Pretty much, I've seen people run 2 of these, 3 of these, or I see people run 2 of these and 3 of these. In my honest opinion, if you're not playing 3 of these each, you're not playing the deck correctly. because you need your consistency as much as possible to constantly break down their field, and having both of these at 3 is great for that. So, yeah, run them at 3. Next, for the generic draw cards, we have uh, 3 cards of Disgusting. Well, Demise, actually. Why is this card at 3? I don't know. Konami has not touched this card yet, but hey, as long as this card is still at 3, I'm damn right going to be playing this deck. Oh, wait. And then we have, one of my dualities got caught in there. I have 3 duality. It did okay for me today. It got me my searches. In my opinion, it wasn't the best, but if you had your hands on it and you needed an extra search to build up your board, it got the job done. Running duality into duality is not really pleasant, but if you can find a way to side out 1 or figure out a way to be more consistent and bump it down to 2, kudos to you. And then next for the draw cards, we have 2 Desires. I know a lot of people say they hate this card, and I actually had the initial thought that this card was terrible, but I can tell you right now, it is hands down amazing. This thing won me so many games. So many games. It unclogs your deck, and it actually makes it just so where you have enough cards to get more consistent. Plus, if you desires and you already use up your cards, you can use something like Draco Phoenix to recycle your Draco cards and then draw an extra card. So you're gonna be at a constant grind game. So desires isn't really gonna be affecting you that much. And then we have the Upstart. I don't like this card anymore. I don't really think it's that great, this format. You got Thunder Dragon running around because it's so trashy, and giving the extra 1,000 to a bunch of over 4K beatstick monsters or 3K beatstick monsters is not so pleasant. So I may eventually replace this card in the future. That's it for the spell lineup. I think this was, 17 spells in the main. Yeah, so 17 spells and 8 monsters. You may be thinking why, but you gotta keep this monster count low because you're gonna want to be seeing more back rows. Way more back rows than monster count, because this deck is gonna break if you run into a bunch of monsters. Just saying. Moving on to the traps, we have 3 Apocalypse and the 1 Return, your Draco trap standard. Yeah, obviously I'd be running more of this if it wasn't at 1, but we gotta work what we gotta work with. And then we have Skill Drain, Win Button, Monarchs Erupt, even more win buttons. Yeah, so in this deck, you're basically going to be running 4 Skill Drains. I mean, it's great, but I don't even necessarily need that. It's just there to act as a 4th one of these in case I can't get any tribute monsters to the field, because you're going to be wanting to have your win buttons as consistent as possible. So it's fine just having these. And thank God, if you don't have a tribute monster, this dies after your turn and not your opponent's turn, because if it died after your opponent's turn, you'd be screwed. And then the 1 Floodgate, that got me a lot of wins. 3 copies of There Can Only Be One. It stomps Salads, Orcus, Thunder Dragons, Trick Stars, anything like that. Any one of decks, it's great. And then to round off the main deck, we have 2 Crackdowns, Spicy of the deck. You can use this to steal their monster, tribute it over, and then continue breaking out their board. I faced a Thunder Dragon player in bracket, and I used this to steal his Titan, and then I ended up getting a monster, and then I just tributed over his Titan, and I think I used 2 of my Draco monsters in border to attack him. I think it was like 68k per game. So this card really comes in handy. I'd recommend it. That's it for the main deck. I believe it wasn't as many traps as it was in the other decks. It's it's because I don't like running too many floodgates because I think this deck kind of clogs the floodgates. Yeah, it's basically floodgate central, but at the same time, if you can find your right ratio to run floods, then kudos to you. Moving on to the side deck, we have three oh, three Lancias. When I tell you I faced a lot of Orcus Thunder Dragon players, I faced a lot, and this card came in handy. Like, I was facing an Orcus player in bracket. I ended up, he was doing his Sky Striker extender build. I activated Lancia, and then he wasn't able to do anything. Like, he got out Ningirsu with a field spell, and then, like, set 2 and pass. So I'm just like, okay, main phase 2, wipe their board with evenly, and then just keep going on with their plays from there. Like, the minute you Lancia them, they literally can't do anything. It's great. This card came in handy. And then we have 2 sphere mode. Breaks boards, breaks a lot of extended boards. This came in handy for Crusadias, Pendulums, Trickstar, Thunder Dragon, Orcus. It came in handy for a lot of things. You want to have something to out your board. So spear mode's great. I didn't want to run 3. I felt like I'd brick. And moving on to, that's it for the monsters. Moving on to spells, we have 3 Strike of the Monarchs. 3 Strike of the Monarchs. This card was pretty spicy this weekend. I actually ended up facing a Draco mirror match, and I stole his dynamite. He was going to activate Card of Demise. I attributed his dynamite with this to negate the demise, and I got a draw. That's how I won the match because of that. I won the mirror match because of this card. It does come in handy. Next, for a lot of back row hate and for a lot of board wipes for banishing, 3 evenly matched. I don't like this card in the main. Honestly, I don't think it's that great in the main. I know some Draco players run it, for going constant second build, but I feel like if you're going to constantly go second, they're going to have upper hand advantages against you, so it's better off going first. I don't mind going second, it's just, I feel like going first is pretty good too. Next, for the other spice, we have 3 Dark Bribe. It did okay. It stopped my 4 problems, which was Twin Twister, evenly matched, Red Reboot, and Cosmic Cyclone. It literally stopped 4 of my problems this weekend. Oh, this card came in clutch. And then to round off the side deck, 1 Judgment. This card won me so many games. Honestly, I'd highly recommend having this in the deck. It won me so many games. That's it for the side deck and for the deck profile. Honestly, Dracos aren't a bad deck to go into this format. I'd highly recommend picking it up if you're looking for a budget alternative deck that can do pretty well. It did me well for the longest time, and I'm gonna probably be sticking with this deck until there's another one coming by. So guys, if I could make some changes in the deck, I could make a few changes in this deck. Like, for the main deck, I probably would drop, the Upstart right here. I probably would cut this out and add in a 3rd copy of, Crackdown. So, literally all I would do is, I would cut this and add a 3rd copy of this. That's just for the main deck. For the side deck, let me move this out of the way first. For the side deck, I would probably drop the Dark Bribes because Judgment's at 3. So I would get rid of the bribes, bump Judgment up to 3, and replace a single slot. I would maybe side deck something like Imperial Order. Because, yeah, Sky Strikers may be dying right now, but they're still going to be a relevant thing for a little bit more while. Multi-roll, hitting them to 1 did hurt them, but not as much as I thought. Yeah, and Edamon Magicians are a thing, so Imperial Order is good for them as well. So guys, thank you for the deck profile, and, well, thank you so much for the, time looking at my deck profile. This deck is going to be a good one going on this format, and I'm going to be sticking with this thing for as long as, not only as long as the meta's dumb truck, but as long as Mystic Mine is still a thing. You know, because this deck is a free win. This Mystic Mine is literally a free win for this deck, so yeah. Anyway, guys, please subscribe, please like the video, share it with your friends, comment if you have any questions, and see you soon. Bye-bye.